That's good. Too many cooks, too many cooks, too many cooks.
Dinner's almost done. Like 5 minutes.
Scheduled AMA for right now.
Right now?
I scheduled 4 hours ago, yeah.
Oh well.
Don't worry. That's delicious. What are you making the dip in it? What are you making the dip in it?
I don't have anything to dip in it, but we have pasta sauce.
Yeah, mayo? Can we make an aioli?
It won't really go with the pasta.
No, I won't go with the pasta. As we just puts the gravy on it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. That sounds good. Too many cooks. Too many cooks. I'm not playing Hearthstone. I gotta log in. I'm already following myself. Alright. Edit. I'm not playing Hearthstone. I'm playing Octagon. Alright. There we go. That's that. Now it's up. I should pop this chat box out, I guess. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. Pop out. Okay, that's good. Now I can get out of here. I think. Hopefully it's working. Yeah, that's fine. That's just my internet. I got the Stim Hack chat going on. And let's send them the AMA link. And hopefully you guys asked me some questions. I did have some questions in the other announcement thread. Got some questions. let's see. First question: are you going to be doing it in this thread or a different one? A different one. So if you want to ask questions for the AMA, go to the Reddit thread, reddit.com/rnetrunner, and it will be, I guess, the flagged one or the green one. I haven't really looked. Let's see what color it is, guys. Yeah, it's up at the top. Yeah, so check it out. Okay, so I'll answer the first question that was asked in the other thread. Do you think Jackson Howard and Mr. Lee could be friends? Mr. Lee's ability kind of already migrated to NBN with the Daily Business Show as another one influence NBN card. Could Jackson Howard and Mr. Lee be friends? Just looking at the pictures of these two individuals, I would say that Jackson Howard would really piss Mr. Lee off, and there's no way these two motherfuckers could be friends. But that's just, I don't know, maybe that's like a game face Jackson puts on for, the kids that he makes the toys for. Maybe he's like a true hardened badass, and him and Mr. Lee, they could dump some bodies together or something. Maybe dump Jackson Howard's body. I don't know. So maybe they could be friends, but if their demeanors are truly as their portraits portray them, no, I don't think they would be friends. So let's look at the second question. That was in the wrong thread. Dan, you use dice to track your credits and shuffle your hand faster than Warp 9. Are these tactics to mess with your opponent, to make people live stream seethe with rage, or both? Neither of those things. Although I do enjoy making people in the Twitch chat angry, especially the people who were watching Worlds. Apparently, they didn't like some things that I did, so I don't like them, and I'd like to make them angry. But that is not the reason why I'm shuffling my hands and using dice. I like dice because they're easy to count, and they're easy to change how much they are. You don't have to reach far away generally, and mess with credit tokens. Is easier to, I guess, shortcut with the dice. It just makes it faster. And then on top of it, I think it's a lot easier when your opponent is using dice rather than tokens to see how much money they actually have. I think it's easier to count pips on dice than it is, especially if there's a lot of money involved. So that's why I like dice. And then the hand shuffling is just something, I'm hyperactive, obviously. I picked it up playing Magic when I was, young. And it's actually just something you do out of habit at this point, but it's really helpful for Netrunner, and I actually recommend that people do it, pick it up. For Magic, I would say, it doesn't really make a difference whether you're doing it or not. It's just something people do as a tick. But in Netrunner, it's really hugely important to not let your opponent follow your card from, say, an HQ access to the next turn, or more importantly, or easily, I guess, see when you play a face down card, whether it's the card that you just drew, like if your opponent gets an R&D access, say, and sees an Eli 1.0, and then you draw it, and then you play a piece of ice. Well, if you didn't shuffle your hand, they're going to know whether you put that Eli down or not. And that's pretty important information. So I definitely recommend shuffling your hands just for that reason, if nothing else. No, it's not to piss anybody off. I'm playing fast. Doing everything fast is a nod to FFG's awesome timing rules, where you just don't have enough time in the round to play the game right now, so you got to play fast. All right, so now that the people who asked their questions in the wrong spot are out of the way, let's go find the goody two shoes asking the questions in the right place. Oh, and look, there's none of them. There's no questions. Am I buffering? Am I having trouble seeing? All right. So am I having trouble? My connection is really bad. I'm buffering. Oh boy, that's not good. Let's see. Let's see if we can fix that. Maybe if we quit some things. Let's quit out of this. Let's quit out of iPhoto. Let's quit out of Skype. I don't have to listen to you assholes anymore. Let's quit out of Microsoft Excel. I don't know if that would do anything at all. And then we'll see, is this, no, Gene, this is not the right place to ask questions. So if you want to ask questions, let's ask them here, because I'm going to type out some answers. And then there will be like a record. So to all of you asking questions in the Twitch chat, just go post those questions over here. And until you do, I'm going to ignore your questions, because you got to follow the rules, babe. I mean, alright. So, am I still buffering? If so, I'll move to a place that's like closer to the internet, so that way I can, do better. Maybe I will use my other graphics card. That might just fuck everything up, so I won't do that. I can quit this. I can quit my Hearthstone tracker. And let's see. Okay, so if I'm still buffering, let me know. And if I'm not, good. I'm gonna go over, while people are asking questions, I'm gonna quickly go over the decks that I played and go over the lists and explain some of the choices, because a lot of people were asking about that. Alright, so here's the deck lists for everybody who hasn't seen them. I'm buffering bad still. The video is stuttery, but the audio is fine. You don't really need to see me. It's not very important, but I guess I'll try moving. Go to like another location. And I'll plug in my computer. Maybe that'll help. Alright. See if that does better. I don't know why it would. But maybe plugging in is helping. If I had like power saving settings on, I don't know. Alright, so I'll go over the decks. And I'll talk about some of the choices really quickly. I'm not going to go card for card. I'm just going to talk about, the things that are a little different and the general idea, the strategy of the deck. The Andromeda deck is pretty standard. Andromeda, some of the interesting choices, I guess, are we could look at the 1 emergency shutdown, 1 express delivery, 1 infiltration, 1 inside job. 1 inside job is mostly about just the fact that drawing 2 of them at any given point is not very good. The same can be said for legwork, I guess, which there are 2 of, but they're more important to draw. If you don't draw the legwork when you need it, you can be in big trouble. The inside job is a utility card, and legwork is something that you generally want to do almost every game. So it's nice to have an extra copy to see it when you need it. Usually you want to do it before they start using their Jackson Howard or something like that. So having access to it at a good time is very important. Express delivery I included as a one-off because I wanted to prioritize being able to set up really quickly against the Earth Hub. So that was the reasoning behind that, although I don't like the card at all. I was unhappy about having to play it. I guess I didn't really have to play. It could have been the second daily cast, which there's only 1 of because I don't like seeing them in my opening hand without a lot of other economy. Seeing 2 could be a nightmare. 1 same old thing, mostly because there's not a lot of room in the deck. Same with 1 Plascrete. I want to have access to the 1 Plascrete. I'm going to draw a lot of cards in my deck. So I don't ever really want to see the second one. Just having 1 is enough and then keeping cards in your hand. There are scenarios where you do want to see 2 of them, but they're rare enough that I wouldn't want to seed a deck slot to the second one unless there's a lot of Scorch decks around and I need to see it quickly. 1 Infiltration is mainly just for Jinteki PE. I have a lot of respect for the Mushin decks, and when they Mushin, you don't know if it's an Overrider or a Ronin. You really got to expose it, or otherwise you're ignoring it or you're guessing. And ignoring it is a form of guessing because you're guessing that it's a trap and not a Ronin. So that's why there's the 1 infiltration. 2 quality time. Mr. Lee used to be a good choice, I think, for Andromeda. Has a card draw mechanism. It used to be okay. He's still okay, but in a metagame that's as fast as the one with Near Earth Hub and everything, having the 2 quality time, it's much better. It's a much better play against Near Earth Hub, and I think it's just a better card in general. But I think the prevalence of Near Earth Hub makes it warranted to spend the extra influence on quality time rather than using Mr. Lee. So that pretty much covers like the strange choices. 2 R&D interface is really common now, due to Near Earth Hub. You really need multi-access for R&D. And 2 Corroder, same sort of deal. You just want it fast. It's not. You don't play 2 Corroder because you're afraid of losing one. Although it's nice to be able to lose one. You play 2 Corroder because you really want to get your Corroder online as soon as possible. And then I guess I should talk about the Kogi breakers. It's Passport and Yogg. Funny that the top two runner decks were both Andy with no way besides Fem to break the remote server Sundu. And Min actually couldn't break a remote server anything. I think he was just playing 2 Passport, 2 Fem, and no other Kogi breaker. There is a concern that somebody could put a Lotus Field on a remote server, but you can Fem it, and it's just Passport and Yogg are just so by far the most efficient Kogi breakers available. Zul is pretty good compared to Passport. You have to spend influence; it's really tight. So I just went with the Passport Yogg. I couldn't give up Yogg, especially in a Near Earth Hub meta where lots of people were playing 3 pop-ups, 3 Quandary. Just being able to just blank like a third of their ice is really, really good. Over a third sometimes. Over to the Replicating Perfection deck, I think there's a little bit less to discuss here, because it was so similar to the deck that I played at Regionals, if you've seen it. But something that some people have commented on is the 1 wraparound. It's because there's not a lot of good ways to spend that last point of influence, and I really like the other cards that I spend influence on. The other things you could do is maybe play an Ice Wall or a Shadow. You could play 2 Mitsubako if you think that it's better than wraparound and just spend 14 influence. And I played a 14 influence deck in Andy for a while. It was wrong, but it was pretty close to right. So, 14 influence isn't the most egregious thing in the world you could do. This deck is very, very close functionally to a 14 influence deck. You just cut the wraparound for a Bako. And then the other new card that I added was Enhanced Login Protocol, cutting an Ash and a Toll Booth to fit it, influence-wise. Card is just really good. It's a nod to the resurgence of Noise, largely, because he doesn't have any run events, maybe 1 stim hack. Making them pay an extra click. Basically, they want to run, they want to face check your ice, they want to put pressure on you, and they have a really hard time doing it through Login Protocol. If you play it and they don't steal an agenda very quickly, they get locked out of the game almost instantaneously afterwards. So it was really good for me on the weekend versus pretty much everybody I played it against. All right, so that's the decks. Let's see if people have asked more questions. Yes, we have questions. Okay. Let's see. Whoa! Chill out, guys. You're making me fall out of my seat. It's not cool. Alright, let's look at the Twitch chat to see that everything isn't ruined. Video is stuttery, audio is fine, low frame rate, not worried, blah blah blah, audio is fine, blame your wireless card. Good job moving out of your lead basement, way better. Oh, good, everything sounds better now. And the lead basement was not a lead basement, but it was a different room. I think maybe plugging in my computer was the key to fixing it. But now we've got some questions. All right, so we'll start. Let's sort by new. I'm going to sort by new so that way I can answer the questions in time order, which will never change. I want to answer the oldest questions first. What was your favorite game in the Swiss pairings? How close did you come to go to X2 in the tournament? Okay, so I think on the FFG stream they said that I was undefeated or something, or other than the 1 match. I think they said that. That's not true. It's not true at all. Like many things in the FFG stream, it was very wrong. So I came out of Swiss 11-3. So I came very close to go. I came less close to going X2 than I came to going X and X and 5. I guess I didn't go, but I'll talk about my favorite game in the Swiss pairings. I guess let me pull up. I have like a tournament report in progress, so I'm gonna pull up that just so I can remember what I played against in Swiss because I wrote that down. And I would say my favorite match, let's say my favorite match that I played against in the Swiss was round 5. I played against Chris Hinkies from New York, who's he won regionals in Cambridge. He came to our regionals in Philadelphia, but I didn't get to play him, and he played some silly decks. He's always playing something at least a little off kilter. He mains and takes very seriously a kit deck that plays Vamp and a Jinteki PE deck that plays Mushin no Shin, Cerebral Overrider, and Ronin as its primary way of putting the runner in a lose-lose position, or at least a win-lose, and they don't know which one's the win and which one's the lose. So I was really glad to finally get to play against Chris. And let me honorable mention, I guess, to the game before against Spags. That was recorded on video. I had a lot of fun. We were just dicking around, you know. But it wasn't a particularly interesting match, and a lot of you already saw it, so I won't talk about it. I'll talk about the match that I had with Chris. So I knew he was playing this Vamp kit deck. He had Magnum Opus for economy, and the general idea was that, so normally kit doesn't pressure HQ very well. So you can like just protect R&D in your remote server and like sort of neglect to defend HQ. And if people did that against him, he would be able to take Opus money a lot of times, vamp you down through HQ, and then make you unable to res your Towers of Ice on the other servers. So it's a really interesting deck. I think it's most certainly the best kit deck I've ever seen, and he does very well with it. But I had him. I was playing against him. He started off running. He went and he had modded Opus in his opening hand, but he did have to go and test run for his Gordian Blade. And I thought about the matchup beforehand, and then Opus is a very powerful econ engine that can race Jinteki PE or Jinteki RP if you don't get a lot of good, stuff set up. I did get my Sundew online pretty early, protecting it. I don't remember with exactly what, maybe an Eli or a Pop or something. I think he went and trashed it, but I might have replaced it as well. So I was doing pretty good on the economy front, and I was staying ahead of him enough that he wasn't able to vamp me to block my remote server. And then he took a turn trashing 2 mental health clinics and went a little bit poor, and I used that as a window to store it Nisei Mark II, and that's a huge deal against like something like a vamp deck because he was no longer able to land a vamp successfully, and you still had to pay to get into HQ, whatever was there. The second game, after you scored Nisei, it's all downhill from there, so I'll stop talking about that game. The second game I played against his PE, which I've been playing for the past 3 months, like pretty much exactly his list, or something very close to it. I've been, it's a ton of fun. If you haven't seen it before, check it out. Cambridge Jinteki is what most people call it. It was, I've seen, it really helped that I've seen him play the deck a lot. I know how he rolls with it. Like turn 1, a lot of the time he'll be motioning the Overrider because people think they have to run it. So that way they don't die to a Ronin. So he did motion very early and I ignored it. He swapped out the Scorched Earth in his deck for 2 archive memories and used that to motion a lot more times than you normally would have. He got out another motion and advanced his card once. So if those were 2 Ronins, I was dead. But I didn't buy that it was 2 Ronins. I was suspecting that the second one was a Ronin. I stole some points. I ran in a similar way that I played the finals match. I ran every face down remote server, except for instead of being traps, most of the time it was like 1 point agendas like Gila Hands and House of Knives. And I think I managed to get all of them off him and then snipe a Philotic from his hand. So that was a pretty big deal. I got up to 4 points that way. But then he motioned a third card. So he had like a 3 advance, a 4 advance, and a 3 advance. And like if 2 of those are Ronin, then I'm definitely dead. So, and I couldn't find my infiltration. I was drawing pretty hard to find it because, I wanted to see those face down cards. Eventually I didn't find it. I was like, okay, well, I guess it's time to guess. I took seriously the threat of 2 Ronins. So I ran on the new one, knowing that one of the first 2 installs was not a Ronin. So I ran on the new one. It was a Ronin. And right afterwards, I ran R&D and won a Future Perfect side. I closed the game out. But I mean, he asked me like, was there anything that changed like the way I would have run it? I'm like, no, I would have always run. I think the new one. I think I wouldn't have run the 4 advanced one because I'd be more afraid of 4 brain damage. But I don't know if that would be right at all. I think I would have just, yeah. Anyway, so I dodged a bullet there, and that was a really fun match, and I was glad to get to play against Chris. All right, so next question. Are you excited by any of the upcoming spoiled cards? How do you think they're going to shake up the game, if at all? Any thoughts on what your card will be? From Key Lime Tart. There's a lot of questions. It's going to take forever to answer that. Am I excited by any of the upcoming spoiled cards? Yes. Yes, I am. I don't really want to talk about it too much. Maybe I'll talk about one card in particular. I know that I don't know that... The thing is I talked, I think, with people who are playtesters, and I don't remember which cards that they told me about are spoiled or not. So I don't want to talk too much about the cards that are spoiled because I don't want to give away any spoilers and get them in trouble. So, and I don't remember what was spoiled like straight out of the out of the draft pack, for instance. That was, people were playing with at Worlds. I don't remember which cards were those. There are definitely 2 cards that I'm really excited about that are not spoiled, I'm pretty sure. So I can't really talk about them. I'll say this, that there's a virus. There are 2 anti cards. There's a virus that's going to shut down Near Earth Hub and then basically make Astrobiotics not a deck anymore the way that we know it, which is great. So get excited for that. And then there's also going to be an Anarch ID that is going to draw you at least twice as many free cards as Andromeda. So those 2 cards I'm super excited about. I'm not going to go into any more detail about what they are. Other than that, I forget what it's called, Hotel. It's like a daily cast for drawing cards for cost. You draw 2 cards at the beginning of your next 3 turns, basically. That card's really sweet. It's a great, 0 influence quality time. Could help Noise out a lot because I don't like Wild Side. Could be good in any criminal deck. Basically, I think that card could go anywhere except for really in Shaper where, 3 Diesel, 3 quality time, and your Astrolabe is going to be enough. So I think that those cards are going to shake up the game all in a large way, and it's really how. Any thoughts on what my card will be? The only card that I've really thought about making that wasn't a joke, like somebody said on StimHack forums, if Min wins, there should be cease and desist, which is great. I mean, if you don't know, he was the guy who made Jinteki.net, and they got a C&D along with Netrunner DB. But that's not going to be an interesting card. It would have to be it would basically be Foxfire. And I don't want to print Foxfire. I was joking about Dandromeda. Dandromeda starts with 10 cards, has 16 influence and 2 link. I don't think they're going to let me print that one. And then I've also, the only really serious card that I've ever thought about would be cool, was my idea for Eli 2.0, which is, so it's a 1 cost Bioroid Ice. It's a smaller one. 1 cost Bioroid Ice. Somewhere between 0 and 2 strength, I guess. And you can double click to break 2 End the Run subroutines. It's just got the 2 End the Run subroutines. But if the runner double clicks through Eli 2.0, they gain a credit. So it's sort of like, the idea would be, it's sort of like an HB pup or a pop-up window. Real easy to break. If you click through it, you even get rewarded for it. But it would be the sort of card, if I went in that direction. I'm not sure that they don't even have an Eli 2.0, on the printing press already. So I'm not sure I'll be able to print that. But I like the idea of printing ice. I sort of want to print a runner card. I think it would be cool to be able to print a card that makes you want to play a criminal that isn't Andromeda. But that's very difficult to do. Which lead me into the next question, Flatlined Wilson. The runner corp factions were remarkably even, but Andromeda was the overwhelming criminal choice. Okay, sorry about that. I just wanted to look at the chat. I guess I'll keep it up. I want to look at this Twitch chat to make sure that it didn't fall off the face of the planet. Stuff like that. Okay, sometimes my internet dies out, so I was just checking. Let's go back. Flatline Wilson says, the runner corp factions were remarkably even, but Andromeda was the overwhelming criminal choice. Why do you think Gabe was represented so low compared to Andromeda in past tournaments? Is it early game consistency that much of an advantage, or is it just conservative inertia? for this tournament, conservative inertia. I think that leading up to this tournament, Andromeda. I mean, first of all, a lot of the best players in the world play Andromeda, have been playing Andromeda for a year or more. And, like, they try to learn something, they'll play something else, but they're just like, why, for a tournament as important as this, and in a game where your play skill and comfortability makes so much of a difference compared to the cards in your deck, I don't really want to switch. And I think I was in that boat, too. Why do I think Gabe was represented so low compared to Andromeda? I'll tell you why I didn't play Gabe, and I almost did. I almost played a Gabe deck that was very, very similar to Timmy's Gabe deck. I don't know that anybody's seen it really yet, but it played 1 quality time and 3 parasites, and that sort of list is very strong against Nearth Hub, more strong than the Andromeda list that people, I think, were using to gun for Nearth Hub. Why do I think it was represented so low compared to Andromeda? I don't know. I think that the right Gabe build is less common knowledge than like something close to the right Andromeda build. I think that the right Gabe build is like 100% playing 3 parasites. And I don't know that everybody who is testing knew to do that, I guess. The reason why I shied away from Gabe and just played Andy anyway, even though I thought she had a worse Nearth Hub matchup, was that I think that Andy has a better like Blue Sun matchup. She has a better Replicating Perfection matchup and stuff like that. So I wanted to be more well rounded. I knew there'd be a lot of Nearth Hub, but I knew that it wouldn't be everything. Oh, and Jinteki PE Andy. So I mean Gabe had a great Nearth Hub matchup for this tournament, but I think Andy is just the more well rounded runner. So, I thought that if I played against players who were, like, slightly worse than me, playing Andromeda would be a good idea. Might be a Twitch server, try refreshing and see if it gets smoother. Yeah, so apparently I'm still buffering a lot. That's rough. I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't want to be buffering video. I don't know, this video isn't very interesting. Who cares? Just shut up, right? Like, what are you watching? You're watching me move around as opposed to be still? Not much of a difference. I'm not doing anything. All right, so let's move to the next question. Jerklin, my good friend, and second place at Philadelphia Regionals. If you could challenge any historical figure, dead or alive, to a game of Netrunner, who would it be, and how many agendas would you throw at them? That's a really hard question. Let's think. Any historical figure. Let's go with... I go with Jesus Christ. I'd challenge Jesus Christ to a game of Netrunner. And I wouldn't throw any agendas. That's a bad answer. I don't even think of a better answer to this question. I could challenge, like, Turing, Tolkien. Is that really a historical figure? What if that's, like, a made-up person? This is actually a really good question that I can't possibly answer well enough to, go with the question. If you missed it, I threw an agenda at Min in like the non-finals game, like the 4th and 5th point NAPD. He accessed it off the top, and I just sort of chucked it, and it just landed like perfectly in his agenda area. It was a pretty great throw, if I do say so myself. It was definitely a little bit of a BM, but I've been playing too much Hearthstone. That's what happens. All right, ANR 2014. If you don't mind, where have I seen your name before in this community? You must either be a big part of one of the big ANR sites, or maybe just have a lot of decks on NRDB. Rum Rogers Sr. answered the question for him. He writes articles at StimHack. He used to write reviews of DataPack, which Reddit hated, by the way, because they were too competitive focused. Yes, that is true. I wrote articles at StimHack. I'm writing up a Worlds report right now. I want to switch away from the reviews of data packs because people don't like being told when the cards that they don't like aren't good, which I think a lot of the cards that they do like aren't good, which is honestly my initial impression of most of the cards when they come out in data packs, like, oh, you can never play this in anything. But I wanted to do like a move away from that, instead do like top picks. Like when the data pack comes out, I would just talk about the cards that I think are good and how I think you should use them. That would be like a little less, I guess, abrasive, but it's also a harder article to write. I tried to write one, I think, when the last pack came out, and I just got distracted or something. It's difficult to write an article. I also have this Twitch stream, which I haven't been playing very often on Octagon, but I'm going to try and pick it up more. If you know Kiv, I'm gonna be testing some Blue Sun on his stream soon. So in terms of where have you seen my name before? Probably a lot of those places. in the forums, on the StimHack forums, in my videos. I did win the regionals, that the what's it called, the Philadelphia regionals. So maybe you heard about that. I don't know. I do a lot of things in the community, or at least I used to be doing a lot of things in the community. I'm gonna try and pick up a little more. Okay, Fallen Majesty says, what do you think about the long-term health of Netrunner? I ask because, be it rotation, how they handled NRDB, Netrunner Worlds, or dealing with the problem, or not dealing with problem/super evasive cards soon enough, it seems to me if they're slowly driving away a fair number of the top-level competitors, and might eventually drive away everyone else. Feel free to express your thoughts on any things I mentioned. I'm particularly curious what you think they could do to fix any of the above problems. I have a lot of fucking opinions about these things. Rotation, I think, is a great idea, but I don't think they're rotating things fast enough. They're taking like a really, I mean, it's a delicate subject because I think that rotation is necessary for the long-term health of pretty much any game, except for like chess. I don't know, like really classic games. You need to like keep things changing and interesting, and the game can succumb to either power creep or just like stagnation because you can't print cards that are so good that they override the usefulness of the old cards forever. So I think rotation is a good idea. I wish that they were rotating faster, and I wish that they came out with, in a similar way to I guess what they're doing for Game of Thrones, I wish that they would come out with a second edition core set, taking out. What I wish they would do is that rather than wait a really long time to rotate cards, I wish that they would like rotate out, say, like 2 cycles at a time every 2 years, and then reprint the core set with featuring basically all of the cards from those past cycles that they rotated out that they want to stay in the game. So like you rotate out the first cycle, say you want to keep Eli in the game, which I'm not sure that you would want to, but let's just say, then you just print Eli in that data pack, or in the new core set, say the second edition core set, and then you could rotate out AstroScript Pilot Program, like just don't reprint it. So I think that would be preferable to what they're doing, but I'm glad that they're doing some sort of rotation at all. How they handled Netrunner DB, man, that was terrible. And I've talked to people about it. No justification for what they did. It was really, really bad. I think they know that they made a mistake at this point, and I don't think they're going to go after Netrunner DB now that it's back up, which is good. So I think that's like a hit against them, but it's not gonna ruin everything forever. Netrunner Worlds, yeah, they screwed up a lot of things. I thought they did a great job hosting the tournament in terms of doing the rounds and stuff. But I think there were 2 main problems, which I talked about in another thread. First problem was the lack of floor rules. Like, obviously everybody knows the rules of the game, but there's no written down rules for what happens if your opponent sees an extra card that they shouldn't, takes an extra click, and then you notice it later, stuff like that. Somebody I heard played a Jinteki PE deck, but they showed a Jinteki RP identity, and the ruling was that halfway through the game that they just had to play RP after the runner had treated their identity as if it was RP for, a while into the tournament, and on top of it, it wasn't written in their sheet. Like, that's got to be a game loss. Like, it's super obvious to me that's got to be a game loss. So that's a problem. And I think the other problem was time. I don't know if it had to do with they needed to get out of there, which is unacceptable, or if they just wanted to make sure people could play multiple games, which is understandable, but I don't think that you can really sacrifice the tournament. At the very least, so they had 7 rounds, cut to top 16. Their rules say they should cut to top 32. They should have cut to top 32. Their rules say that there should be no time limit in the finals. There was. Terrible. On top of the fact that they just broke their own rules, which was bad enough because they broke them all and made it worse rather than make it better. Like, if they just put no time limit on the whole elimination, that would have been great. But the other thing is, I think they need longer time limits for elimination especially. I ran into a lot of time trouble. I needed to do some pretty douchey hurrying up of min to just to see that I could even have a chance of winning the game. They weren't even particularly long, drawn out games. You just need to think. I think it needs to be at least 45 minutes for elimination rounds for every tournament. And so, I mean, in terms of fixing those problems, I guess I sort of went over that. I think that the long-term, knowing some spoiled cards, I think the long-term health of Netrunner, at least for the short-term, long-term, is pretty good. I'm not too worried about it, and I'm confident that FFG is going to fix things eventually, if not slowly. Like, you gotta realize that they have all the cards ready in terms of like what they're going to be well in advance. So when you say like, oh, Andromeda's been out for a year and she's still everywhere, well, the fact of the matter is they already decided on what cards were coming out after, the cards that came out between Andromeda and now. Those cards were all decided before Andromeda saw tournament play once. So it's like a little bit slow on them, and that is a problem. But I think that it's gonna change a little bit in the future. I don't know if Andromeda specifically will get worse, but at the very least, you're gonna see other powerful runners that can stack up to her, I think. Fallen Majesty also says, "What are your thoughts on Octagon Netrunner? Seems to be a question FFG tries their damnedest to avoid." But Netrunner couldn't be what it is now if it was just in-person play. Why do you think FFG doesn't do their own online version? I don't think they do their. I think they recognize that FFG or that Octagon is actually really helpful for the game, and that's why they lay off it. But they don't want to. They don't want to say anything endorsing it ever, because it would be, I don't know, like the legal situation, but it might be implying that they're not enforcing some sort of trademark. I don't know, it's just like corporate culture. Like they don't want to come out in favor of something that is technically probably illegal, or maybe not illegal, but I guess illegal, like something that they could sue for, or at least sue to stop, send another C&D. So they don't want to say that it's good, but they know that it is. Why don't they put out their own online version? I think it's like lack of manpower and lack of money. They just, I think that'd be awesome if FFG came out with an online platform that was subscription based, that you could play all of their games, because it would do a lot of cross promotion and get people from one game into new games. And the subscription model would be, similar to how the living card game actually works. I think that they often talk about it and we just are in the dark. So maybe we'll learn something soon about plans to do something like that. But I think that the reason why we haven't heard anything yet is just because the reason we haven't anything yet is because there's no certain plans. That's that. Could you give a top 3 archetypes for Runner Corp, in my opinion, from Zloon? 2 Dexy Random Worlds will be there. Interesting to hear what other archetypes you pick. Top 3 archetypes for Runner Corp. I guess in the meta that was for Worlds. I think the top 3 archetypes for Corp were Jinteki RP, Near Earth Hub, and Jinteki PE. Blue Sun, close 4th, I guess. But I think those 3 were the top Corps. RP because it has a good matchup against, the things that are good against Near Earth Hub. Near Earth Hub because it's completely busted. And PE because it's really, nobody was metagamed against it. And if you weren't playing Shaper, for example, and even if you were, you would have a really hard time dealing with PE, especially because people are not very practiced against it, especially in the United States. Apparently in Europe, it's a big deal, and that informed a lot of Min's choices. So when you see his decks, keep in mind that he was expecting a lot more PE here. So for Runner, I'm going to say Andromeda. And then it's obviously just like Andromeda, Game with Parasites, Prepaid Kate, with, I think, no resources really, except for Same Old Thing. I don't like Professional Contacts, Katie Jones, and Daily Cast is okay. You can play that. And then Noise, and I think the best Noise list is playing Quality Time and Inject and no Wild Side. Those are 4 lists. I don't know which. I don't want to make it 3 because I think all 4 of those decks are totally reasonable. Math and Love says, I went back and forth between ELP, Enhanced Login Protocols, and Toll Booth. What made you jump to Enhanced Login Protocol? On a follow-up, what's your opinion on Glacier RP that attempts to make a run very costly versus Fast RP where you score ASAP? I don't know what Fast RP is. Every good RP deck that I've seen is a slow deck. So I don't know what a Fast RP looks like, but I have never seen one that was good. So Glacier RP. What made me jump to Enhanced Login Protocol versus Toll Booth? So I have one Toll Booth. Before I had 2 Toll Booth, 2 Ash, and I cut one of each for Enhanced Login Protocol for the Influence. Initially, it was just like a testing thing. Like, oh, this card obviously could be good in RP. Let's test it out. And the reason why I stuck with it was that I thought ELP was basically as good as those other cards at, dealing with Criminal and Shaper. Maybe ELP was, I guess ELP is worse versus Shaper, but not enough worse that I was too worried about it. And Noise, I thought was going to be pretty popular, and I did face a decent amount of Noise, and Enhanced Login Protocols really ruins Noise because they have no run events. Math and Love also asked, what IR do you see RP players make the most? That's a great question. I would say that the biggest, I think there's maybe two. The first error that I think RP players make constantly is, these are like one and the same. So let's say it like this. The biggest error is ice placement. Many RP players look at all the punishing ice in the deck and think, oh, like I want to make all of my remote servers punishing to run into, so that way they can't really go after my remotes without hurting themselves. And that's great, but it's not top priority. You, like the Quandary and the Baco and the Wraparound want to be going on remote servers, generally protecting Sundew. But you can also use them to stem like an early attack on one of your central servers. Like if somebody plays a fast RDI or a sneak door beta or something like that, no problem putting Quandary or Wraparound on HQ or Archives or something like that, or using them to potentially, stop as a stopgap against Siphon. You can't pigeonhole yourself into only putting punishing ice on your central servers. It's not that big of a deal. Making them spend the click is more important than making them pay the money for running into the ice. So, that's a big deal. The other thing is that Eli doesn't. Eli is actually the stone best remote ice in RP, which is weird because usually it's a central ice because they can click through it. But in RP, like you put it, for example, you could put an Enhanced Login Protocol out and then an Eli on a remote and then try and score an agenda there, and they can't click through the Eli. There's not enough clicks in the day. So Eli is remote ice in RP. So I don't know if that's a big mistake that people make, but saving one Eli at least for a remote is usually pretty important, and you don't need to worry about making your centrals punishing. What Math and Love? Whoa, Math and Love. Come on, that's too many questions. Future cards that I'm excited about for the RP archetype? None. I haven't seen a card that I'd like to put in RP. Joe4119 says, have you thought about what the card you're going to design is going to look like? I answered that question. Not a lot. I have an Eli 2.0 in my head, which is 1 cost, 0 to 2 strength. I don't really know. 2 end the run subs, double click to break, and if you use double click to break, the runner gains a credit. That was my idea so far. I don't know if they made Eli 2.0 yet and it's already coming out, in which case can't really do that. Emlyn says, what is your opinion on so-called auto-includes? Are there any cards whose inclusion in a deck is required for that deck to be competitive? Yes, almost certainly. I mean, for a specific archetype, yes. For a specific archetype, probably like for any given card, like 80 to 85% of the cards are auto-includes for that archetype. In terms of auto-includes for just like the game, like Sure Gamble and Hedge Fund, yes, I think those are auto-includes. Those cards are good enough that you should put them in actual every deck. Like I've seen RP decks that cut, for example, they cut Hedge Fund so they can put more drip economy assets. Wrong. Play Hedge Fund. You need startup money so that way you can res the ice on your central servers and then still protect something like one Sundew. That's way more important than just like flooding out the board with all sorts of assets. That's you have a very good zero influence solid economy card, Hedge Fund, play it. Same goes with Celebrity Gift. I mean, that card is completely bonkers. Don't cut Celebrity Gift. Don't cut Hedge Fund from RP. How do you beat your RP deck? Which archetype do you have the most trouble playing against? Okay, so the RP deck is really, really good. I don't know that there's any runner deck that can beat both RP and Nearth Hub, and that's why I played it. The runner deck that I've had the most trouble against with RP is an Andy deck with Parasites. Similar to the ones that I won regionals with and Jesse Vandover won regionals with. That deck has a pretty good shot against RP, I think. You can actually sort of lock out their remote in this way by you can gently pressure the remote servers and keep security testing alive by parasiting their expensive taxing ice. And then when they go to score, then you run a Siphon on them, and it's very hard for them to keep you out of the HQ for Siphon, and then also defend the remote server. So I think that deck was pretty good. Without Parasites, Andy is a great matchup for RP. So, you can still beat it. You just have to get luckier. You usually have to win a Future Perfect Psy game on an early access, in similar way to that Min did against me in the pre-finals match that we had. Kata124 says, congrats, what's next? Will you continue training as hard as you did this year, or is World's goal of yours that is now achieved? Are there other games you love playing that you may play more competitively now that the championship is over? All right, I'm not going to lie. In the past 2 months, I played way more Hearthstone than I played Netrunner. I love Hearthstone. It's a great game. I don't think that it has necessarily the depth that Netrunner has, but it's like the online client is so good. You know, the personalities that stream are really fun to watch. There's a lot of people in the game. I haven't played any tournaments, but I would say that it would be I would love to like try some amateur Hearthstone tournaments, because I made Legend the past 2 months. I think I'm like a pretty competent Hearthstone player, not like the best in the world or anywhere near it. Playing Hearthstone is like much more about not making these little mistakes than I think it is like Netrunner, where you have to come up with a general strategy that's good. Although little mistakes can kill you in Netrunner, as we saw when Min failed to take a credit before accessing an NAPD. So, I really like Hearthstone. The other goal that I have is to play more Netrunner as well as Hearthstone. I wanna start streaming more again, join other people's streams, put out good content, keep the StimHack site alive, stuff like that. All right, let's see. Matastrophic says, what are your thoughts on Architect? Does it give a meaningful boost to HP Fast Advance relative to Near Earth Hub Fast Advance? What do you think on decks that rely on Stealth Breakers? Are they viable? Thoughts on Architect. Card's great. I really wanted to play Caduceus in Near Earth Hub before Architect came out, because it's one of the only sentries that does a good job of taxing the runner. But without the making news recurring credits, it's much worse than it used to be in that deck. So Architect came out for the same influence and one more cost. I think it's much better in Near Earth Hub than Caduceus was, and a lot of the people who did great with Near Earth Hub were playing it. Does it give a meaningful boost to HP Fast Advance relative to Near Earth Hub Fast Advance? Honestly, you can play HP Fast Advance and it's a fine deck, but I don't think that there's a way to make it better than Near Earth Hub Fast Advance, really at all. If there was gonna be an HP Fast Advance deck that I thought could get better than Near Earth Hub, I would say Foundry. Actually, you're gonna get you have a lot of the Grail Ice, you have the Next Ice. You can build you can get a lot. You can play a much better late game, and you can actually build remotes to score in. And that's sort of a big deal, especially in the future going forward because of cards that are coming out. So I would keep an eye out on the Foundry Fast Advance, and it's really fun to play right now. One big issue is that you do pull all these ice out of your deck, and then your R&D is sort of soft to accesses, so that can be a big problem. But yeah, I love playing all those taxing ice, especially now that Parasite is less everywhere. I would give that a try. I don't know that you would play Architect though. I don't think it's really an Architect deck, because you're not playing very much ice. Alright, let's see. Literal Garbage. Great name, Literal Garbage. What was your secret to winning the tournament, and why is it getting drunk with cool dudes in hot tubs? Literal Garbage. I don't know who you are, but you must be a cool dude in a hot tub. Secret to winning the tournament is getting drunk and cool dudes with hot tubs, and it's because it's fun to do. It's fun to do. Well, here's why the secret actually is getting drunk with cool dudes in hot tubs. Is because one of the dudes is Netrunner, and Netrunner made me a bet while we were in a hot tub that I wouldn't win the tournament with 10-1 odds. So now he owes me $100, and that was the motivation I needed to win the tournament. That's why. Alright, so that covers all the questions that have been asked in the thread. Now I'm going to go and check out. I'm going to look at the Twitch chat and see if anybody else asked anything. Okay, so this is a bunch of long stuff. Let's see what you guys had to ask. Orange Devil says, do you think Crowder is a good card? No, fuck you, Orange Devil. Gene Steeler says, do you put 3 Sure Gamble in every runner deck? No, I don't put 3 Sure Gamble in any decks. I only have 2, I lost 1. What was your favorite game of Swiss pairings? I answered that question, Paul Ryan. How do you feel about the current internet political situation in Turkey? I prefer ham. Are you excited about any of the upcoming spoil cards? Answer that question. Is this the right pace to answer questions? No, it's not. The video is stuttery. Yes. Deal with it. Blah, 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 blah. The virus is spoiled. The ID is not. It says, oh, okay, so Clot is spoiled. Clot is the virus I was talking about. Pretty much totally kills, like, near top fast advance. Now, if you want a fast advance after that card comes out, I think you're pretty much going to have to do it in a remote server. So that way, at the very least, you can tax the runner to get in. And I think that pretty much every fast advance deck is going to need to have a remote scoring strategy, at least as an alternate, and maybe you just can't even play fast advance. Like, definitely not in the sense that Netrunner is fast advance, just like balls out, do nothing but fast advance. Like, you never, like, the only way you score agenda on the table in Netrunner is like if it's an NAPD against Nazir, or if it's like you just snuck an agenda out to be a tricky bastard and there's nothing in front of it. Let's see. Works. No video challenge. Gotta run. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so. Blah, blah, blah. What do I do for a living? My girlfriend and I sell fine jewelry on eBay, and then I also answer the phone and do estimates for a moving company. And that basically is basically an hour. It basically covers all the questions. Maybe what I can do is let's see if I can like play a game for a second. Like, let's see if I can open Octagon. Let's see if it like ruins the world. I'm running OSX, so I'm gonna have to open Parallels, and we'll see if it just completely fucks everything. Oh, by the way, guys, I signed 3 professional contacts, and you should go on eBay and buy them, because then I'll get money. So go and bid these up. Even if you don't want to buy them, you should at least bid them up for me. And then I'll be richer for that, which is something that I'm sure all of you want. Look at these beautiful signatures. I'm trying to get money. Help me. Alright, let's see. Recent items. Where's my Parallels desktop? No, not downloads. So, this is going to be like my first streamed Octagon game in a long time if it actually works. Resuming. I'm going to have to like not full screen this. Alright, there we go. Alright. Let's add display capture. Create new. Display 0. Crop none. Sure. All these things. Yeah. Great. Let's go to video capture device. Move to top. Let's make this smaller. Put that over there. Did I get any games versus any of the Team Covenant guys? No. Actually, I've never played any of them. I talked a lot with them, but no, I didn't play any of them. Alright, let's see. Is this working? It looks like it's working. Okay. Octagon, probably gonna have to update, download like 1,000 sets. Haven't played in quite a bit on Octagon, actually. Been doing most of my testing in real life. And when I'm on computer, playing Hearthstone too much. Nice thing was, the metagame barely changed at all over the course of the past, like, 2 months. So I didn't really feel like and I didn't change my decks, really. So I didn't need to do a whole lot of testing. Yeah, you can launch all these things. Close these things. Launch the Octagons. Shades of the Devoured Emperor. A great game for anybody who likes to play games that nobody plays. And I don't know what deck. I mean, like, I could play these decks that I played in the tournament, but I'm not going to because I'm sick of them. Look, I'm skipping two full versions. I'm going from 3.13 to 3.15. Tells you about how much Netrunner I've been playing on Octagon. I'm going to try and change that, make it better. You know what I'll do? I'll play Blue Sun. Because that's what I want to be doing right now, sort of. So let's go to Meteor, and because this is a great deck builder, by the way. Anybody who doesn't use it, I don't know what you're doing. Blue Sun. Let's build the Blue Sun deck. 3 ashes, too many. Let's play 1 ash. Let's play no root. I thought that card would be good. It turns out to not be very good. Let's play no quandary. Let's play enigmas instead. And let's play Lotus Field instead of Tollbooth, because we got plenty of bullshit like that. I'm just going to play a deck that's like pretty similar, I guess, to some other decks. What? Not going to play this. Let's play a Scorch deck. Fuck it. I'll play a deck that's like Timmy's deck, let's say. Not going to play this. I'm going to play... how many agenda points do I have? 12 agenda points? No. Oh, no. Okay, let's play Hostile Takeover. No. Hostile Takeover. And let's play Corporate War. This card is what's up in Blue Sun, by the way. I think that every Blue Sun deck basically should be playing 3 of this. A Game of Thrones 2nd Edition interest. I never played a Game of... Oh, I played a Game of Thrones one time. Not particularly interested. 9 influence only I spent. 2 Adonis Campaign, 1 Ash. I'm going to need 2... Let's play 2 Sea Source. I got my Scorched Earths in there. I got my Adonis Campaign. Let's play 2 Lotus. Let's go down to like 0 Shadow. I don't think I need this card. Well, let's play 1. 1 Shadow. 2. Let's play 1 Taurus, I guess. Maybe I'll play 2. That card's pretty good, right? We can go down to like 2 Hive, 1 Hadrian's Wall. That's not enough cards. This is 16 ice, which is like a pretty good amount. Maybe I want the third curtain wall for sure, right? Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play this version. I'm gonna play. I don't know. No, there's a Janus version that I really want to try. Yeah, Tollbooth. I don't want to play Tollbooth. I'm just gonna play Lotus Field and Enigma. Tollbooth is pretty good. Maybe I want to be playing Tollbooth. I don't know. I'll play one of this card. Well, no. Now it keeps changing the numbers on me. God damn it. Alright, let's refresh and see what it says then. 48 cards. 3 curtain wall, 2 hive, 1 ice wall, 2 enigma, 2 low shield. A lichen? That's the new one? Sure, why not? I like that idea. Now it's jumped immediately to like 1 million more cards, right? 50 cards. Yeah, Taurus seems great in this identity. I hated it in the other Wayland identity, but the fact that you can pick it up after you blew up all their hardware just makes it so much better. Because it's really the cost. Like it's a cost problem. It was a cost problem in the other Wayland identity. Like you just you paid all this money to blow up their Plascrete, but then you can no longer never afford to see them again. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go down to no Hadrian's Wall. Oh no, one's good. I like 1. Let's go to no Shadow. And then I want to play 2 Posted. Could also play like reverse the counts or something. How many ice is this? This is a lot of ice. Maybe it's too much. Maybe not. I do have the wrong identity. I built this list before Blue Sun was on Meteor. Let's put one of these in. Good call on wrong identity. I have to cut a card. Like, 19 ice seems like a lot. So maybe I should cut an ice. I don't know which ice. Enigma seems too good to cut. I go to 2 ice. Let's go to 1 hive. As good as I think hive is in this identity, I'll just go to 1 hive because I really want to try out Taurus and Lycan. I don't think Lycan is a very good 2 hive. It's a little expensive, but I wanted to try out this stuff. Yes, I am answering questions from Reddit still. Let's go to the Reddit AMA and see if anybody asks some more questions. Reddit, Netrunner, Timmy running 0, cut Hadrian's. Sure. That's good enough for me. Although Timmy did have like 2 curtain walls on the same remote, and it was really bad, obviously, because the second one was like... So like maybe I want to play 1 Hadrian's, that way I can put 2 of those things. No, I'm not cutting Caduceus. Caduceus is retarded in this identity, I think. I mean, I could cut a Caduceus, but I'm not. I'm not cutting it. Alright, so let's see. AMA. Is it still sorted by new? Yes. Steve Houston, a real son of a bitch, says, please talk about your personal history with being successful at games. Okay, I used to play, like, pro Magic, I guess. I played JSS, which was, like, the under 16 Magic thing. Win scholarships. I did pretty well at that. Then I qualified for the Pro Tour, and I played in 4. But I got my card stolen, and my friends moved away who I borrowed cards from, so I had to stop doing that. I didn't really have the money to sink into a Magic collection again. Steve also says, are you currently selling any signed Netrunner merchandise on eBay? I already told you about that. Yes, I am. Go to eBay and look for signed professional contact playset and buy it. Or at least bid it up. Do you think the Criminals were so successful in the tournament because of higher number of NEH players? Do you think the Criminals are also great against non-MBN decks? Do you think that decks with surprise are worse in a tournament with a cut? That's a great question, actually. Do I think Criminals are just the best? Yes, actually I do. Not just against MBN. For the past year, I've just been playing Criminal in tournaments. Specifically, Andromeda is really just a great ID. Although I think that they are less better than the other ones than they ever were right now. Do you think the decks with a surprise are worse in a tournament with a cut? Yeah, I guess they are. I mean, the longer the tournament goes, the more likely people are going to hear about what you're doing, and then those decks get worse. I really like playing in decks without surprises in them, or at least decks that are largely comprised of no surprise and then like add 1 surprise, like a low opportunity cost surprise. Mostly because I like getting practice in with my decks. And it's hard to get practice in with a surprise deck without people figuring out what you're doing over time. Alright, so... When was this? This was... Okay, there's Jesse Vandover says, hi. Hi, Jesse. Let's refresh. Android Netrunner private. Let's start a game. Anybody who's like stream sniping me, it's not cool. I haven't played Wayland in a long time, so this should be fun. Let's close this. We don't need this. Only cat and hostile take in no cat and maybe hostile takeover is wrong in this build. If there's no archer, there's no power shutdown. I don't know. I'm just playing like a lot of ice, so maybe hostile takeover is bad. Maybe I should be playing 2 Ash in this sort of list rather than 2 C. Maybe I should cut Lotus Field. I have no idea. I don't. This will be like the first time I ever actually played with Blue Sun, I think. So I'm gonna fuck everything up. But yeah, that's what you're saying makes sense. B-Blom, are you... Who are you? I know you, right? But who is it? Is it Niles? Or Chris? B-Blom, who are you? We'll just give this a try. Check this out. Wanted Adonis campaign 2 executive boot camp. Totally cute. Not doing it. Maybe at some point in the future after the bad publicity deck becomes ridiculous. Oh, I have to download this deck, don't I? I think on my desktop accidentally is housing my downloads folder right now. What's it called? Blue Sun. It's not there. Damn it. Where did it go? Oh, it went to this downloads folder. 1 second. 1 second. That's not good. What if I just drag it? Does that work? No. 1 sec. Oh, that's because I built it here. Oh, Alright, this will do better. Oh, okay. Then I've seen your name on like the forums on StimHack or something. This is my problem. Now the problem is fixed. So I'm just going to play one game, and then I'll answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to go eat dinner. Oh, I forgot to do my F things. Oops. I did that wrong. Alright, there we go. That's better. This hand seems pretty mediocre. It does have the oversight AI. I don't know. I guess it's against Kit. Alright, I'll keep it. Let's keep it. Because having oversight AI is just huge, right? And I can just score this on turn 1. I don't know if this is right or not. But whatever. If I draw an ice, then it'll be awesome. Alright, sweet. And then... No. Let's draw a card. Oh, that's better. Isn't it? Is it? Can't tell. Alright. Let's try that. Maybe I should play a snare. I know he's stream sniping me. Who would pay that trace? Runner actions. Declare finish the run successfully. I'm having to use all these stupid hotkeys. Alright, he steals my hostile takeover. What a son of a bitch. Who does that? Should I return this to my hand? I don't think so. I think I like it there right now. Discards Parasite. That's weird. Who discards Parasite? What is he? Must have some sort of weird plan. Alright, let's draw a card and try to find a curtain wall. It's not a curtain wall. Let's put Lotus Field over here and click for a credit. This way, I have a Kogate on the outside and stuff like that. Now, I do need to find a way to get to restructure money. That will be pretty important. I don't want to use the oversight if I can help it on anything except for... Ooh, Stealth Kit. I hear this is really good against me. Alright. Curtain wall? Nope. Alright, so what do I want to do? I obviously don't want to, like... I don't want to oversight something that he's just going to break. Maybe I should like start building a remote server. Let's draw a card. That's annoying. Maybe I should like be more aggressive. Maybe I should just click for a credit and discard something. I don't know. Is there any reason to worry about archives? I'm going to discard this Lotus Seal. Could be totally wrong. But I really want to get up money. Next turn, if I return Caduceus to my hand, I can click for a credit and restructure this way. I can't do it if he runs there, so I'm going to let him in. Discards another Parasite. Oh, yeah, Parasite's just terrible against me. I forgot. Oh, that makes sense. I forgot to do that before. Whatever. There. That's pretty good, right? No. I can change the F buttons so that way they work. But once I start parallels, it doesn't work turning it off. So, yeah. So I can't change it now that I already started the game. Ooh, another restructure. That's pretty sweet, right? Let's just leave. Let's just leave this wide open. Because what? He has to, like, pay 2 or something. I think I'll be able to score this. Oh, what up, Aaron? So, hopefully this works. Oh, he's going to Tinkering. Okay, that's pretty good. I guess. Oh, no, wait. Because he can't add strength. So he's going to be stuck at strength 2, unable to break the Caduceus on the inside. No break. Okay, so he will not. So I have to actually stop him on this one. Alright, so I gain 3, and then I have to trace 2. He's Kit, so he doesn't have a link. So I have to make this trace 7. So I have to increase it by 5. And he's still got 5 cards, so I won't be able to just, like, scorch him out. Alright, I'm going to not return that Caduceus because I can still res pretty much all my ice, and I don't want to have too many cards in my hand. Well, seem to be in a pretty good spot. Like, I've got access to Sea Scorch. I'll be able to afford it on the turn, like, after this one. And even if he gets a Plascrete, I have the Taurus in play. So, that's good. Personal Workshop. RDI. Sure. Lotus Field, Taurus. Taurus isn't going to be that good. Lotus Field's not going to be that good either. Alright. Do I have a different play? I could just score Hostile Takeover for a point. I'm going to do that just to get it out of my hand, I think. Maybe I should have bounced the Caduceus there. No, too many cards in hand. If he makes this run without a Plascrete, Dinosaurus. Yeah, if he makes this run without a Plascrete, I think he's dead, so he has to not do that. I'm going to continue not bouncing this Caduceus for cards in hand reasons. There's a Curtain Wall. Alright, let's play Restructure. Let's play Curtain Wall on HQ, I guess. And Oversight it. Just doing it on HQ because I don't want to pay the 2 credits. I'm going to bounce it anyway. I could have put it on R&D to, like, keep him out of R&D for a turn, but unless he, like, actually finds this Plascrete, it doesn't really matter. Because I do have Sea Scorch in hand. A Lockpick and another Cloak. Dang. Okay. Well, he's going down to 3 cards and he's dying. Right, this is +9. Alright, so that'll be game, I think. Unless he's, like, installing a Plascrete on his last click. No, he actually just can't. Oh, he can just draw a card. Yeah. But alright, well, I didn't even use the Dallas counter. That was fun. Sweet. Alright, let's get out of this. Runner should have jacked out. True. Runner should have jacked out. Maybe. I mean, he was in a pretty shitty spot there, I think. But yeah, you're right. He should have jacked out, maybe. I don't know that he saw any Scorched Earth in my hand, but he definitely saw the Sea Swords. And he knows that if I have 2 of them, he's dead. 2 of any combination of Sea and Scorch. Alright, so let's check it back on the AMA, and then we'll close it out. What do you think the meta will look like for the 2015 Store Championships? When is that? I don't really know. It's probably going to be post Big Box. I think that Anarchs are going to be really good. From what I've seen from the Big Box, I don't think that Wayland's going to get a whole lot. There's going to be like sort of more like HB where they get like these new decks instead of improving the archetype that already exists. And I don't think that's like the advanceable ice deck is really going to be all there. It seems like a little gimmicky to me. So, but maybe. So I think that the meta for 2015 Store Championships, I think there's going to be a lot of RP. I think that deck doesn't get as much love as it deserves, and I think now that I won with it, people are going to play it more. Near Earth Hub, if Clot doesn't come out yet, but if it does, it won't. And then just a lot of the new Anarch stuff is going to be all over the place, especially the IDs. Blackmail, Recursion in the BP ID, and other stuff like that. And Blue Sun. I see you're playing a Stealth Kit deck. What does a Stealth Kit deck need to include in order to be competitive? What about cards that look good but really should not be included? I don't know anything about the Stealth Kit deck, so I can't really help you. I would suggest Vamp in the vein of Hinkies. Kit really has a problem of being unable to really pressure HQ. I don't know if you have enough influence to... I don't know if you want to splash like a different Stealth Breaker than the other one that you're playing. Maybe like a one of and then a few Vamps. I think you probably want to play at least 2 Vamps. How about that? And then Opus or something. Maybe that's bad. Maybe you just need Opus to make Vamp good. I don't know. Really, I think that you're going to need some way to pressure HQ. And it's hard because Kit doesn't have a lot of influence, and Shaper really doesn't have any way to do that. So, and like HQ like multi-access isn't good enough because it's easy enough against like a slow-ish Shaper deck to just not have agendas in HQ between Jackson Howard and then just scoring them. So you're going to need a way to attack HQ that like in a way that isn't multi-access. So Imp, Vamp, Account Siphon, but you don't really have influence for Account Siphon. And then you need ways to make yourself able to actually pay for a big Vamp. So I don't know if it's all there or not. You definitely have trouble with Near Earth Hub. So I don't think you should play Stealth Kit competitively until Near Earth Hub isn't there anymore. You can double Scorch with Atlas. Yeah, that I knew. Runner should eject out. Blue Sun is going to be better with Orion as a curtain wall replaces because it also punishes. Other thing is you can play in Blue Sun is Janus. Janus is ridiculous in Blue Sun, and it's really fun. So if you're looking for something, and this is not my idea, some of the Baltimore guys told me to do this, and it sounds really awesome. So if you're looking to have some fun, don't play a Stealth Kit deck. Put Janus in Blue Sun. And that's going to close out the AMA. I'll go through and answer the questions briefly in the actual thread, so you can go back and read them later. You can always go to the Twitch channel and look at past broadcasts to rewatch this if you missed some of it or whatever. Hopefully I'll be streaming in the future and you can catch me right here. And until next time, thanks everybody for the congratulations, everybody who helped me win Worlds, all my friends for playing with me and just being great people. Thanks to the Baltimore guys, Jesse, Chris, Niles. Thanks to all the guys from Philly, even though you, for the most part, didn't come out. I'm very disappointed in you. Jesse Merlin. Thanks to good old Steve Houston. Thanks to Tom. Thank you to all the guys involved in StimHack, even though you guys are, for the most part, not playing anymore. Thanks to the StimHack Skype chat. Thanks to Orange Devil, Gene Steelers, Anthony. Thanks to Joe Held, who did actually make it out, and congratulations on the top 16. And, great job playing RP to a good record. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for watching, and you'll see me around.